Check, 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 check. Check, check, check. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Arizona State Hockey YouTube's presentation of ACHA Division I Men's Ice Hockey as the Arizona State Sun Devils host the University of Utah Utes for the second game of a back-to-back homestand. Going back to last night's game, Arizona State looked like they were off to a jiffy as they were up with a 2-0 lead after the end of one period of play. But Utah turned the game on its head as they ended up scoring 4 unanswered goals and ended up protecting the lead and winning the game by the score of 4-2. The Arizona State coaching staff felt that what they lacked last night was a consistent level of effort. Sometimes in hockey, the bounces and luck might not go your way, but it's always effort that you can bring to the table each and every night in order to give yourself the best chance to win. For the University of Utah Utes, they're looking for a statement weekend sweep at the Division I level. They have unable to sweep a ranked opponent so far this season, and they're looking to do so and help build that foundation and pipeline that head coach Benedito was looking for his Utah team. Folks, we just have puck drop coming in just a few minutes here on Arizona State Hockey YouTube. Hello everyone and welcome to Arizona State Hockey Ute's presentation of ACHA Division I Men's Ice Hockey. And we'll get you ready for tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Just Dishin'. For the visiting Utes, it'll be number 30, Landon Anderson, in between the pipes. Number 5, Dylan Dix. Number 13, Wyatt Light. Number 20, Otto Chow. Number 25, Alex King. And number 29, Brett Meyer. And for the Arizona State Sun Devils, it'll be number 1, Bronson Moore, in between the net. Defenseman, number 3, Chase McLaughlin. Number 7, Jack Hosworth. Number 9, Adam Havner. Number 10, Andrew Husted. Number 14, Drew Platt. And those are your starting lineups brought to you by Just Dishin', connecting the dots between fashion and hockey. And folks, we're just about to get underway, and thank you so much for tuning in tonight to Arizona State Hockey YouTube. It'll be Andrew Husted, Drew Platt for Arizona State in the circle, and Alex King as we're about to hit liftoff here in Tempe. Utah has possession off the opening draw. Light ends up getting it stripped away from him from Husted, and he ends up softly chipping it into the offensive zone. Platt ends up putting a hit on to Meyer. Puck still bouncing around. Adam Havner trying to cycle it back down low out of the reach for Platt. Chase McLaughlin hustling in on the blue line, trying to keep the puck in. And it'll come out to the neutral zone as Jack Hosworth will pump one in and dump it in. Cross-ice pass gets in the skates of Chow, and they have to go ahead and retrieve it. McLaughlin out of his own zone with his head up. Cross-ice play. It'll find Drew Platt. Platt trying to force a pass through, but Landa Kusick ends up blocking it with his skate, and Light will chip it up and go for a change. Kowalchuk having some pressure on the half wall. Landa Kusick comes out with it for the Utes. Trying to center that in front. He fans on the pass. Brendan Studioso. His cross-ice pass as he ends up taking a hard hit. Out of reach for the intended Plurd. Bronson Moore has to play it out of his net. And it could be a 2-on-2. Clayton Lackey coming in on his forehand side. A snapshot ends up getting blocked and missing the net. Kowalchuk rims it back down low. First line out for Arizona State right now. Landa Kusick. Toe drags out of his zone. He'll ladle it over to Jerome. Jerome, snapshot on, and the rebound goes into the corner from Moore. Studioso gains a center ice line. A soft chip allows him to go for a change. Just past 2 minutes has been underway here at Oceanside Ice Arena, and it's 0-0. Hoffenkamp trying to take the puck away, and Kruk's able to help him out. Utah tries to finish off a change. Brett Meyer on the left side. Unable to get around the defenseman Alex Searing as he heads down to the ice. Timothy Hoffenkamp out of his own zone. Airs one to Shaw. Shaw is able to find it. And then gets caught up in his skates, and it'll be poked away by Paolo. Quick snapshot on from McCarthy, ends up missing the net high. Romero in there as well for the Utes, but they're unable to get any zone time. And the Sun Devils break it out. Jet Larson in the corner. Centers out in front, but Aiden Sullivan wasn't able to hop off the bench in time, and the Utes will take it away. You definitely feel some of the angst and some of the hatred between these two teams that ended up boiling over a little bit last night, carrying into tonight's game in terms of the pace of the play. Hosworth can't get it all the way down deep, and Dix is able to glove it down. Light to Chow. He gains the blue line, entering in onside. Connor Deneen for Arizona State can't take it away from Light. Light snapshot on, and his shot ends up getting redirected by the defensive stick of Hosworth and out of play. Well, they ended up getting the loss last night. The fourth line for Arizona State was probably one of the best lines out there in terms of generating offensive scoring chances, something you always like to see, of being able to get contributions from all parts of your lineup. Puck ends up going out of play, and we'll have another face-off. Osworth chips it off the high glass. Palumbo unable to find it, but it'll come out to the neutral zone, and Utah has to touch up. Osworth looking over his shoulder, the reverse pass. Sullivan's able to reach out for it, but he can't clear it. King backhands out one in front, but Light couldn't pull the trigger on it, and Arizona State will dump the puck in. Ended up taking almost a costly stumble was Jovial Milic, but the Utes are able to break it out just to have one of their forwards, King, take an icing. It'll be the line 1B, if you might say, as Husted, Platt, and Havner's out for Arizona State. Draw one by Arizona State. Havner's shot ends up getting blocked up high off the shin pad of Ensign, and Utah can go for a much-needed change. That was one of the things that the Utes did well, really well last night, was to be able to take away shooting lanes for the defensemen at the point for Arizona State, and they were unable to get any point shots through. Utah wins a draw. Meyer out of his own zone. A saucer pass is able to fool the defenseman Landfear, and it'll go in the offensive zone for the Utes. Husted. He's able to collect the puck. Now he's delaying, waiting for some space. He finds a hole on the right side. Husted. Short angle shot ends up being gobbled up, and no rebound by the goaltender Anderson. Anderson wasn't the sole reason why the Utes ended up winning last night, but it was just timely saves when he needed to make some big stops, when his defenseman or his defense ended up having a few leaks through the concrete. He was able to make the stops. Draw one by Arizona State again. Paolo ends up getting tied up with Platt behind the net. Landa Kusick. He button hooks in his own zone and fires one just in front of Jerome. He's trying to hustle to beat out the icing, but Kruk was able to get there first. Not even 5 minutes into this hockey game, and you could sense that the Utes are having a little trouble trying to break out of their own zone. You could also credit a little bit of that to Arizona State's forecheck. Another draw win. Plaird's shot ends up getting blocked. We'll find at the point, looking for the redirection, but McLaughlin wasn't on the same wavelength. Landa Kusick, he's getting pressured. He turns it over at the blue line. Lackey trying to dump it in low. He can. Plaird trying to get around Landa Kusick. And end up being Di Benedetto able to help out his forward. It's a costly turnover. Lackey is able to take away from Paolo. Lackey stops at the half wall. Cross ice play to Kruk. Kruk centers that in front. Ends up being a tip from Plaird, but it's saved by Anderson. Kruk, a point shot on, misses high, but it'll come to Studio, so he tries to center that in front to Plaird, but ends up being blocked by Ensign. Romero ends up taking a hard lick from McLaughlin and loses the puck. Lackey gets the reverse pass from his defenseman, but it's just behind Plaird. Brett Meyer gains the center ice line and will clap one in on the goaltender Moore. Nahara, he ends up losing out behind the net. A redirection, and Moore is able to make the stop from the point on the shot from Dix. Kruk trying to go out the other way, but that's in the skates of Plaird. Studioso was able to chip it off, but he couldn't clear the blue line. Arizona State goes D to D, and Lackey's able to get a touch on it and negate the icing. Utah having some trouble going D to D, but it'll come over to Dix. Dix somehow able to get around Shaw. And dumping in that puck in will be Matthew Perry. Perry gets a turnover, centers out in front, still loose. Perry, another shot at it, still whacking in front of it, and Searing's able to take it away to safety. Jet Larson. Anderson plays it behind his net. Hoffenkamp trying to cycle that for Braden Shaw. Shaw, he's pinned to the wall by Perry. He's able to kick it out to Hoffenkamp at the point. Kowalczyk, a quick point shot, ends up getting blocked, but fanning on the clear and falling down was Irk. Hoffenkamp to front to Jet Larson. Larson banging at it. It's a big stop by Anderson. Searing winds up and fires, and that one's blocked by Irk. And Utah's able to go the other way. Hunter, near the end of his shift, just ends up electing to just chip the puck in and go for a change. Our big first offensive scoring chance ended up going for the Sun Devils. Now, the Utes have opportunity as Light has to be kicking himself as he had a golden opportunity right in the middle of a high slot as he got a gifted pass from the defenseman Searing, but he ends up missing the net completely. A lot of communication for both teams, and both benches are yelling and cheering for their teammates out there, and you can tell there's a lot of energy going on out on the Oceanside ice sheet. King. Cross corner dump. Hosworth has some time. High chip off the glass. Big glove down by Paolo in the neutral zone. Light floats one in front. Hosworth is able to jab at it. Now for Arizona State, Aiden Sullivan able to skip past Paolo. Milich giving it over to Paolo, and Utah's able to negate the pressure and put in the offensive zone. Goaltender Moore rims it around. King seals off the wall on the right side. Kruk unable to get it out, kept in by Light. He'll chip it back down deep again. Chow having some trouble trying to cycle it down. It ends up getting taken away by Hosworth, and it's cleared out. Deneen in on the forecheck for the Sun Devils. He puts a hit down. Drew Platt's able to hustle off the bench and keep the puck in. Cahill is able to get it to Landakusik. Landakusik through the center ice line. Ends up fanning on the shot. Husted trying to clear it out. Jerome just unable to keep the puck in. DiBenedito, indirect pass to Jerome. Jerome getting a stick whack from Platt, but he's able to chip the puck in. Lanfer behind his net, feeling the heat from Landakusik. Almost creating a turnover, it finally does. Jerome to Landakusik. Landakusik's wrist shot, and he scores. Utah ends up getting first blood here in Tempe, and they lead 1-0. Ended up being some miscommunication with Arizona State's breakout, and that ended up allowing Light dragging the defender towards him, and he was able to float it over to Landakusik, and he was able to build up a lot of power with his lower body and wrist one past the goaltender Moore. Utah going back in on the offensive again. Light unable to deke around Plird. Brett Meyer gloves it down, but he's unable to chip it down, and now Lackey's trying to hustle with Dix beneath the net. Dix is able to just get there in time. Arizona State digging at it at the point. The pass intended for McLaughlin. He just has to dump the puck down in the corner. Studioso centers that in front, but Light's able to bat it down in the corner. Cleared. Wing it around. Meyer to Dix. Puck still waiting for somebody to recollect it in the corner. It'll be Arizona State. Kowalczyk, D to McLaughlin, but he's unable to pull the trigger. McLaughlin elects to the safe play and chips it back down. Studioso up back to the point again. Kowalczyk fakes the pass, back to Studioso. Now he winds up and fires, ends up getting blocked by Meyer. Kept in. McLaughlin's wrist shot on, ends up hitting a skate and going to the corner. King forks it to Light. Chow, the only Ute player in the offensive zone, has to buy some time in the corner. Chow, he's trying to release that pass, but he ends up getting stapled by Studioso, and Arizona State will go the other way. Plird slowly marauding his way into the offensive zone. Lackey dekes around one Ute player, but he couldn't get around Chow. Offenkamp able to keep the puck into Lackey. Snapshot on, he misses high, he's looking for the right corner. Searing at the point. Throws it back down the corner. Paolo, chip off the glass. Searing is able to glove it down and keep it in. Paolo just does just the same, and the Utes are able to break out. Paolo, he ladles it down the corner. Searing D to Kruk. Larson just able to get there in time. Now it's a 2-on-2 for the Sun Devils. Hoffenkamp with speed. Snapshot on, and ends up being blocked away by Anderson in the corner. At the point, Kruk, the one-timer shot, it's high. Rebound still in front. Chet Larson unable to get a good handle on it. Chip off the glass as the puck's rolling end over end. Will just get over the goal line and will be called for an icing. It's been a good response by Arizona State after conceding that first goal of the hockey game. If you remember last night, Arizona State ended up getting the first goal, but they did not end up getting the win, so there's still a win in the cards with a lot of time left for Arizona State. The point shot from Hosworth ends up getting blocked by a few players battling in front of the goaltender, Anderson. And Arizona State, as they're trying to regroup in the neutral zone, there ends up being a call by the back referee. Looks like the back referee is going to be calling a hold on Utah and a slash on Arizona State, and we'll be having our first 4-on-4 action of the evening. With this only being able to allow 4 players out for each team, Arizona State's going to elect to have 3 forwards and 1 defenseman. For Utah, it's going to be the traditional 2 forward, 2 defenseman setup. Draw one by Landa Kusick in his own zone. DiBendito trying to find it to turn over to Havner right in front. Havner, he's trying to fit one on the outside side, but he ends up missing the net. Over to Hosworth. Hosworth faking, looking for a pass. To the Platt, and he scores! Drew Platt, as he was able to find his seam right in front of the goaltender Anderson, just redirected the pass he got from Hosworth, and Arizona State knots it up at 1. Arizona State was able to force the turnover off the initial face-off win by the Utes, and Hosworth was able to just delay enough that he was able to buy enough time for Platt to find his way right in front of the goaltender Anderson and was able to blow one past him. It's a new ball game here in Tempe as it's now 1-1, just past the middle of this first period. It'll still be 4-on-4 play, though, for about 1 minute and 30 seconds. Hosworth just looking for that rebound in front, and Havner was right there to put the rebound home, but he ended up not getting all of that shot that he ended up wanting. Seems to be this open ice has been able to be taken advantage of for Arizona State so far, as they've been applying the pressure. Arizona State as the home team with last change, trying to figure out who they want out there, as well as getting an explanation as head coach Tate Green for Arizona State from one of the referees. 1 minute and 23 remains on 4-on-4 play, as now it looks to be head coach Bo Bertagnoli coming over to the other bench for Utah, as I imagine the same topics being talked about by the referee as he did with head coach Tate Green. Looks like play will be finally resuming now as Arizona State has an offensive zone draw. Ensign and Studioso in the center dot. Draw one by Ensign. Paolo trying to go D to D to Di Bendito. Hosworth reaching for it. He keeps the puck in. Lackey to Studioso, but just out of reach for the puck. He has to end up wheeling the puck down low to Plurd. Plurd fighting with Ensign in the corner. Paolo's able to pry it out, but couldn't get it out the first time, and now Ensign can take it for Utah. Ensign, wrist shot on, and Moore is able to snatch that one out of the air and not allow a rebound. .6:46 remains in this first period. It's been a tightly contested one here tonight, as evident by the scoreboard. Studioso wins the draw on his backhand. Kruk, a rim, will find Lackey on this left side of the ice. Lackey trying to play that in space for Plurd, but it ends up getting taken away by a nice read from Meyer. Arizona State slows it down the neutral zone. Kruk cuts through the middle. Studioso at the point, gives it right back to Kruk. Kruk, cross-ice pass, but Ensign was able to have some great positioning and redirect that pass up into the ceiling. There'll be another offensive zone draw on this 4-on-4 play for the Sun Devils. Hoffenkamp wins it clean to Kruk at the point. He ends up playing it down the corner for Jet Larson. Hoffenkamp. He gets sealed by Di Bendito, but he is able to work out of it and now keep the puck. Hoffenkamp stops to Searing. Having some trouble handling the puck. He'll chip it down deep. Utah is able to clear it by the stick of Paolo. Jet Larson is able to get the puck, and both players step on the ice. We're back to 5-on-5 play. Jet Larson gets it right back from Hoffenkamp. He centers that in front, but McLaughlin was making a change, and no defenseman was there for Arizona State. Chow gets the blue line to King. McLaughlin's able to take it away, and he's hustling for that puck out into the neutral zone. Hoffenkamp's able to keep it out of the offensive zone. Searing plays it out and goes for a change. King, one touches it to Chow in the neutral zone. Chow ends up getting the puck poked away by the active stick of McLaughlin. Hoffenkamp, tape to Sullivan on the right side. Sullivan on his backhand driving, trying to play that one in front, ends up getting blocked by the skate blade of Dix. Sullivan on the back check. Now he's able to win the puck back for Arizona State. Pass gets in the skates of McLaughlin, and he'll recollect it. Ensign takes the turnover in the center ice line. Trying to center that in front. Lanakusik, he gets a shot through finally, and Moore is able to swallow it. Jerome wins the draw to Lanakusik. Lanakusik ends up getting a shot blocked by Platt. Platt will get it from Husted, dropping it for Havner. Now to Husted. Wrist shot on as Anderson had to fight through the screen of the driving Platt heading to the front of his crease, but he was able to make the stop. Platt was trying to win the draw forward, but it gets taken away by Di Bendito. Paolo able to get a redirection from McCarthy and Is now finally able to get the puck out. Paolo on the left side looking for a rebound, but Moore is able to play it behind his net. Under 4 remaining in this first period. It's 1-1. Hodworth almost got his pass taken away by Romero at the blue line. Now Nahara is able to get it in. Nahara the snapshot on, and Moore is able to cover it up. Shots on goal for this first period, 10-9 in favor of Utah. Platt will win it. Kruk rims around to Havner. Havner is able to just push that out into the neutral zone. Kruk, the soft pass to Platt. Platt does not gain the center ice line, and will go for an icing. Platt will win another draw, kept in by Meyer, and ends up handcuffing Moore as he was unable to find where that puck was, but he made the stop. In the corner, Landa Kusik's trying to drive out. Back ends one in front. King, an unbelievable stop by Bronson Moore as he was able to stop King point blank on the backhand. Ended up being a really innocent chance for Utah as they won the scrum in the corner, and Landa Kusik was able to find his way to the front of the net and just threw it on, and King was uncovered, and he was able to get a rebound chance, but Moore was able to make a better stop. Plurd with the puck, out of the reach for Lackey, and looks like to be another icing call. This icing isn't as too bad as some of the other icings that we've just had previously because Arizona State was able to get a fresh 5-man unit out there, so being tired is not an issue. Landa Kuzik wins the draw forward, but Kowalchuk's able to get the puck first. Puck up in the air to McLaughlin. It's a 2-on-1. McLaughlin and Studioso. McLaughlin fans on the shot. Then he's able to shoot it, but it ends up being saved by Anderson. Lackey at the point. Plays it down low, cycling it down in the corner. Studioso. Lackey's pass intended for Studioso, the out of reach for him. Landa Kuzik trying to take the puck away. Played up at the blue line, but Plurd's able to whip it back in. Studioso trying to kick it up to his stick. The D-to-D pass ends up getting taken away by Ensign. Jerome in front for Landa Kuzik, but it was out of reach of him, and Moore is able to intercept it and wrangle that one in. Unfortunately, near the end of the period, the ice is a little bad as Chase McLaughlin was unable to get control of that puck, as I think he wanted to try and pass it over to Studioso on the right side, but he at the very least was able to get a shooting opportunity on the goaltender, Anderson. High chip off the glass by Searing, finds Shaw. Shaw on the left side. On Di Benedito, he ends up hitting the brakes. Shaw cycling with Jet Larson. Larson stops at the half wall. Curls back up to the point. Hosworth, snapshot on, ends up getting blocked by the stick of Irk. Shaw ends up centering that one in front of the slot, but there's only Utah players there, and they're able to clear it. Shaw trying to collect it. Hoffenkamp plays it to Searing, and Searing's able to softly dump that one in the opposite corner. Shaw shielding the puck away from Di Benedito. Jet Larson, snapshot on, gets blocked. Another opportunity, banging out of Arizona State. A few opportunities, but Anderson's able to make the stops. Di Benedito, indirect pass. Searing takes it away, but he gives it right back. Romero gets it taken away by Hoffenkamp, and Hoffenkamp's shot ends up being saved by Anderson. Paolo, chip off the glass. Searing's able to to glove it down and throw it back in. Under 60 seconds remains. Romero by himself. Able to get around Searing, but Lanford was able to help out his D partner. Searing puts it in an area, and icing ends up being called as Deneen was trying to get on his horse, but he was unable to beat Dixon according to that linesman. Though the forward group out there for Arizona State is fresh, Searing has been out for a long time, and he is the one that's going to be the most looking forward to making a change. Draw in by Utah. Palumbo is able to jab at the puck and take it away from Landa Kusick. Deneen is able to get it over the blue line. And now the puck's glued to the Arizona State bench. Landa Kusick, he enters in onside. Kruk looking around. He's able to go D to D over to Lanford trying to make that pass, but it ends up getting blocked. Utah now going the other way. Landa Kusick on his backhand. Trying to find Light on the back door, but I don't think Light was expecting the pass. Landa Kusick still with the puck. Centers that in front. Kruk touches it up. And it looks to be a penalty to Gonner Deneen for a high sticking call with 9 seconds remaining in this first period. There's a few dangerous chances, and it looks to be that Landa Kusick's been playing with a lot of confidence tonight. He's been looking for plays that might not seem that they're going to be developing, but he's able to use his hockey sense and able to find a play. Landa Kusick wins the draw at the point. Meyer falls down to King, trying to get the redirection from Light, but the stick gets lifted by Husted. Kowalczyk will elect to just keep the puck down, and the period will expire. It's been a great start in these first 20 minutes of play for both Arizona State and Utah, as Arizona State was able to get a goal courtesy of Drew Platt in the middle of that first period to have a 1-0 lead, but Utah was able to capitalize and tie it up at 1. Folks, we'll be back to bring you live second period action of ACHA Division I men's ice hockey in just about 15 minutes. After the first 20 minutes of play, it's Arizona State 1, Utah 1, and we'll be back on Arizona State Hockey YouTube. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Arizona State Hockey YouTube's presentation of ACHA Division I Men's Ice Hockey. As Arizona State and the University of Utah Utes will take the ice for the second period. And our first intermission scoring report brought to you by Kowalchuk Construction. It was Utah that ended up getting the first goal of this hockey game, courtesy of Shea Landakusik. As entering in this weekend, he was the Utes' top point getter with 17 points coming in to last night's game. For Arizona State, they ended up equalizing as it was number 14, Drew Platt. Platt ended up getting his second goal of the season in the first period, as it was a nice pass from Jack Hosworth. And that was your first period scoring recap, brought to you by Kowalchuk Construction. Arizona State's going to have to kill off the rest of this minute and 52 seconds worth of penalty, as Connor Deneen got a late penalty in that first period. And we are back here at Oceanside Ice Arena. Dix will play it back behind his net as Utah is going to have to get a good regroup and build something up out of their own zone. Landakusik turns it over to Husted at the blue line. Husted's going to look to try and kill some more time. Hosworth, he'll wrist one as Platt ends up getting a tip on it and he'll go all the way down. About 30 seconds has elapsed on this power play for the Utes. Dix out of his own zone, coming through center ice. Handing it over to Brett Meyer. Meyer still with the puck on his backhand. He cycles that one up to King. King ends up collecting it with his glove and ends up being deemed by the referee right next to him that it was a hand pass. And with that also being a hand pass, the faceoff will be outside of the Arizona State zone. Meyer. He's able to get it to Landakusik. Landakusik with the puck in the corner. Down the corner. He'll take it up. Landakusik. Over to Meyer as he was trying to find a seam pass to King, but they weren't able to connect. King. The puck to Dix at the point. Winds up and fires, and Moore is able to make the stop. About 36 seconds. 36 seconds remains on the minor penalty to Deneen. That Dix point shot ended up being the only real offensive threat so far on this man advantage for the Utes. Draw one by Utah. Dix is just able to keep the puck in the offensive zone. He rims it around the corner boards. King with the puck. Stops. Settles the puck down. Now plays up to the point to Dix. Dix with a quick wrist shot on, and Moore is able to make the save on the wrist shot. Dangerous opportunity as that puck was just fluttering up in the air as Dix wanted any one of his forwards to possibly get a redirection on to make it a little tougher for Moore, but they're unable to. 18 seconds remain on the power play. Ends up being a late change deemed by one of the linesmen, and so Light's going to be kicked out of this face-off circle, and coming in relief is Jerome. Light, DDD pass. And the point shot on, and the redirection from Chow ends up going over the net. Arizona State's able to do just enough to get it out. Paolo has to play it back in his own zone, and that Deneen penalty ends up expiring. Light on the left side. able to get around McLaughlin. He's down in the corner with the puck. Up to Chow. Chow, wrist shot on. Rebound still loose in front of Moore, but Studioso is able to sweep it away to the corner. Rugby scrum on the half wall. Studioso ends up with a little physicality on Chow and ends up being that clear from Arizona State, ends up going into the stands and out of play. Looks like the linesman's getting a new puck as that one ends up going to Lucky Fan. That was played over the boards. Draw one by Arizona State. Romero's able to try and make a pass, but it gets turned over. And now going to 2-on-1, and Plurd ends up getting the one-timer, but he ends up healing on the shot and misses the net off the pass from Lackey. McCarthy for the Utes as the game's starting to open up. McCarthy, the wrist shot on, ends up being redirected and out of play by the defenseman Connor Crook. Dangerous opportunity as Lackey was able to turn the puck over at the blue line of the Arizona State, and he was able to go with the 2-on-1 opportunity and was able to get it over there to Plurd, but Plurd just healed the shot. Face off in the offensive zone for the Utes. Platt ends up getting kicked out, and Husted's going to be taking the draw. Linesman instructing Landa Kusick where he needs to be lined up to do a proper face-off. Looks like it ended up helping as Landa Kusick wins the draw. Kowalchuk with a big crunch on Ensign in the corner. Husted unable to get around Landa Kusick. He was trying to shut him off. Platt was able to take a hit but get the puck out. Landa Kusick on the far side wing. Pass intended for Ensign, but it'll end up trickling to the goaltender Moore, and he'll put his paw over it. Utah, although they weren't unable to capitalize on that power play, have been able to take some sort of momentum from it as a lot of the play has been down in Arizona State's end. Platt wins it to Kowalchuk. Kowalchuk the high chip off the glass. Havner's trying to hustle down, but Anderson will play it behind his net. Platt steals off the wall, forces DiBenedito to try and break it out the other side. Kowalchuk trying to get a handle on the puck off the turnover, but it ends up coming to Landa Kusick. Landa Kusick on the left side, and Lanford's able to do just enough to keep that puck off the goaltender Moore. DiBenedito, he's finally able to take control of it. Misses the net, but rebound still in front. Landa Kusick ends up hitting the ice sheet. And as Arizona State touches the puck, it ends up being deemed a penalty. Being a little too aggressive in front of the net was Drew Platt as he ends up being called for a cross-checking penalty, and the Utah Utes will go for their second power play of this second period. Feels that the pressure is starting to be exerted a little more in terms of the Utah's favor of trying to break this tied hockey game. Utes win the draw. DiBenedito on the left side. He's not getting pressured. He'll play it down to Ensign. Ensign. He's the one that's getting pressured by Hosworth. Hosworth trying to poke it away. He can't. Aiden Sullivan is able to do so, and he'll clear it down 200 feet. Paolo being forced up the right side. Missed on the pass to Ensign, so he has to recollect it. Ensign gets around Crook to Chow. Chow on the right side, trying to center that in front, but it's blocked by Crook. Still loose. Chow trying to get a shot off, but it'll get blocked away by Palumbo, and Crook's able to clear it. Anderson elects to leave it behind his net for his defenseman, DiBenedetto. DiBenedetto to Light. Light with some speed on the right side. Wrist shot ends up being punched away by Moore into the corner. Light behind the net stops, and as he was trying to turn, McLaughlin was able to staple him to the boards. Landakusik out within the corner. Utes try to finish off a change. Light on the right corner. Centers that in front. Moore's able to read it, but he's unable to cover it. Puck still loose. Landakusik, wrist shot on, and he scores. Little miscommunication in front of the Arizona State net as Moore was able to read the pass, but the defenseman, McLaughlin, was unsure if he was going to cover it, so he ended up trying to clear it, not getting all the puck that he wanted on the clear, and the Utes were able to capitalize. Ends up being Landakusik's second goal of the hockey game, and the Utes take a 1-goal lead. Puck played up into the air. Dix, pressured by Jet Larson, just gets it out. Searing's chip ends up going to the Arizona State bench, and we'll have a whistle. Arizona State's third line is out at this moment, but Utah wins the draw, and Dix will dump it in. Puck hops over the stick of McCarthy, and Shaw's able to get it out. It's a 2-on-1. Hoffenkamp and Jet Larson. Hoffenkamp. Backhand pass to Jet Larson. Ends up getting broken up, and he throws out one in front. But it ended up being the safe face of Brett Meyer for the Utes goaltender, collecting the puck and taking it out. Utah dumps it back in. Bronson Moore behind his net. Plays it to Searing. Searing ends up able to get a good stick on it and ship it all the way out to the neutral zone. Moore ends up getting the puck dumped in on him, and he's forced to freeze it. Utah's been able to dictate the pace of play early in the second period, and then they were able to finally capitalize on one of their two power play chances to take a 1-goal lead. Player's able to play it ahead for Clayton Lackey. Lackey hits the brakes, trying to give it to Studioso, but he's being tracked down by Jerome. Comes up to the corner. Kruk winds up and fires in the redirection from Plurd, misses the net. Lanford jumping into the play. He'll keep the puck down low. DiBenedetto unable to clear the first time. Ends up getting whipped down by Plurd. Ensign trying to help out his defenseman. He's able to chip it off the high glass and out of danger. Lanford, he's trying to do the same, but ends up chipping it a little too high and off the netting. And the face-off will be in Arizona State's end. Studioso wins the draw. Kruk unable to clear it as it's kept in by Utah. Jerome finds a turnover, and he was able to have Landakusik, but Landakusik wasn't able to get those angles right on the redirection and misses a net. Lackey trying to get around Landakusik, but it gets taken away by his teammate Jerome. Lackey ends up passing to the skates of Plurd, and they turn it over. Milic with a turnover. Drew Platt off the bench and fresh. Cycling it down for Plurd. Steers out in front to Lackey, but he wasn't expecting that pass, and it goes through his legs. Platt on the back check, able to keep it in. Arizona State trying to finish off the change. Lackey cycling up to the blue line. Opens up his body. Over to TD at the point to Kowalchuk. Snapshot on, ends up being blocked by Ensign. Plurd trying to find his centers out in front, but Kowalchuk wasn't able to get there. Now he gets the shot on, but it'll get blocked by Enzyme. Plurd gets the short angle shot, saved by Anderson. Chip off the glass was high, but not high enough to touch the ceiling at Oceanside Ice Arena, and icing's waved off, and the Utes can go for a change. Husted off the bench on a breakaway. Husted, he scores! Andrew Husted was able to get the stretch pass from Kowalchuk as Utah was off on the long change, and he was able to go in on a breakaway, and he's able to put it by the goaltender Anderson, and Arizona State ties the game up at 2. Great job by both Husted and Kowalchuk as they recognize that the Utah group of 5 were out there for a long time and knew that they had some hungry eyes of trying to go to that bench and go for a change. And Arizona State ends up catching them on the counter. Moore behind his net. Having some trouble with it. He's able to get some control but can't clear it. Chow's shot ends up missing the net. King in there for Utah. Meyer at the blue line, ships it back down low for King. Drew Platt's able to meet him behind the net. McLaughlin trying to protect the puck away from Chow, but he couldn't clear. Husted over to Havner. 3-on-2. Hodsworth drops it for Husted, then a snapshot, still loose on the rebound. Puck's not covered yet, and now we finally have a whistle. It was good recognition from the defenseman, Jack Hodsworth, to come up into play and make it an odd man opportunity for the Sun Devils. And it was a great job by him to drop it for Husted. And Husted was all alone, just missed on the snapshot, but the rebound was still there. Sun Devils had a few good whacks at it, but Anderson, with his good positioning, was able to find the puck and make the stop. Kowalchuk, point shot on, misses a net. Comes up to Searing. Searing throws it down low. Palumbo couldn't read the puck coming off the boards. Deneen trying to dump it down low, but it gets blocked, and Paolo's able to clear it. Searing. Outreach for Palumbo, but it ends up going to the goaltender Anderson, and he is forced to cover it up with 10:22 remaining in the second period. Arizona State battling through the adversity tonight. Have been able to tie the game up after facing 2 one-goal deficits. Sullivan! He ends up finding the puck and he scores. And now Arizona State, riding that wave of momentum, have now taken the lead 3-2. And that great play from the bottom lines for Arizona State has continued in the second period, as it was the fourth line of Palumbo, Deneen, and Sullivan able to win that draw, and that puck was just kind of sitting there on the faceoff circle. Sullivan was able to read it at the top of the circle, and he was able to wrist one past the glove hand of Anderson. Puck ends up going out of play, and we can now hear the Arizona State fans and Oceanside Ice Arena getting into it a little bit, seeing this team battle back and now have a 3-2 lead. And Akusik wins the draw in the neutral zone. Brett Meyer fakes the slap shot, and as he was faking it, I think he ended up also faking out one of his teammates, and he goes in offside. Draw one again by Landa Kusik. Shaw protecting it. And he plays it to Hoffenkamp, and Hoffenkamp will try and get his own dump in. He does. Shaw unable to get the puck past Jerome, and Jerome going the other way. Jerome trying to work on Kruk, but Kruk's able to keep him to the outside, and then he is able to have a big check. And Arizona State will touch it up. And we might have a stoppage just to double check that Jerome's okay, but also, too, that there might be a penalty being called. Looks to be one of the linesmen's going to be escorting Connor Kruk to the box, but we also have one of the trainers out for Utah coming to check on Jerome. Both referees in the referee's crease trying to talk it over of what they ended up seeing on the play. Trying to analyze what I remember from that hit that Kruk ended up putting on Jerome. It did look to me like it was shoulder to shoulder, but it was one of those hits where Jerome was just far enough away from the boards that it could end up being a dangerous collision. So now the referee is talking to both Kowalchuk and King for the respective teams, and now he's trying to now he's going to have to give an explanation to head coach Tate Green for Arizona State. As it looks like on the board that's going to be coming up, it's not going to be a usual possible maybe 2 minutes or even 4 minutes. It looks like it's going to be a 5-minute major being called. And this could be a big moment in terms of who's going to be able to walk out with a W for this hockey game. And it looks to be that Connor Kruk's going to actually possibly be done for at least this period, possibly the hockey game, and someone else is going to have to serve his penalty. So just where Arizona State thought they were facing all the adversity they can, they're going to have to face a little more. Drawing by Landa Kusick. Rebound still in front of Moore, ends up being cleared out into the corner. So it's a 5-minute major, and looks like he is going to be done for the game, according to the PA announcer here at Oceanside Ice Arena. And so the Sun Devils will be down a defenseman for the rest of this game. Jed Larson's able to make the block off the point shot from Meyer. Plays still loose. King's able to get a snapshot on, but it's a leg pad save from Moore. Dix kicks it to King. King to the one-timer shot to Brett Meyer, and Moore is able to use his glove hand and make the stop. With this being a 5-minute major, even if Utah ends up scoring, Arizona State still has to kill the remainder of that penalty. Arizona State leading by the score of 3-2. Connor Kruk looks to be done and out of this hockey game off a hitting penalty he ended up getting against Jerome. Landa Kusick as Utah wins the draw. One-timer shot from Dix, and kneeling down to block that one was Clayton Lackey. King at the half wall, trying to snap that through. It comes to the front. Landa Kusick with the puck. He gets it on his forehand. Button hook turn to Hunter. Hunter trying to center that in front, and Moore is able to hug the post and make the stop. Arizona State's going to keep the same penalty killing unit out. Utah is going to switch up their power play unit. Draw one by Studioso, and Hosworth is able to get a big clear. 3:40 left on this power play for the Utes, and they're down by the score of 3-2. DiBenedetto takes it from the left side to the right side of the ice, but Hosworth is able to stop the puck, but he can't clear it. Hosworth with a hard rim around, as it'll get just enough juice to find Studioso on the right side. In the offensive zone, Studioso trying to keep it away from Enzyme, but Chow's able to help out his teammate and get the puck. Chow on the right side. He was trying to get past Hosworth, and he ends up getting tangled up with him, and looks to be a holding penalty, according to the referee, as he's trying to explain it to the defenseman Hosworth. And so now Arizona State's going to have to kill off a 5-on-3 penalty for 2 minutes. And you have to think that that door is starting to creak open more and more as Utah is having opportunities on special teams to tie this game. Big draw win by Drew Platt, and Kowalczyk can clear it down 200 feet. Landa Kusick gets it from Dix. Ends up stopping. Now Dix walks the line. Dix with it. Now the one-time shot from Landa Kusick, and he ends up steaming one high. Meyer to Dix. Dix goes forward, pivots back, trying to get a shooting lane. Meyer fakes the shot, back to Dix, but ends up able to get the shot off, but it's saved by Moore. King, one-timer shot, and it was a big stop by Moore and another big clear by Kowalczyk. And the Arizona State bench is getting rowdy, trying to cheer their teammates on. Minute left on the 5-on-3. Husted blocks the pass with his skate, and Kowalczyk with another big clear. Landa Kusick gets it from his goaltender on the left side. Dekes his way around to the middle. King's able to get the snapshot on as Moore is able to punch the puck into the corner. Quick reaction save. Meyer off the wall. Meyer wrist shot on and ends up missing the net high. Landa Kusick trying to find the puck off the wall. Meyer now to Dix. Dix winds up, he fires one. Blocked by King, and the rebound is saved by Moore. 20 seconds remain on the 5-on-3. Landa Kusick trying to get his way to the front of the net. Puck still loose. Hoffenkamp can't clear. Husted can. Hoffenkamp, they now have a 2-on-1. Hoffenkamp and Husted. Hoffenkamp. Husted! Oh, and he misses on the one-timer shot. Husted still with the puck. Wrist shot ends up getting blocked by Dix. And Arizona State has killed off that 5-on-3, but about a minute and change remains on the 5-on-4 power play. Dix at the point, snapshot on as Moore is able to make the stop. Where Utah was buzzing around the offensive zone, Arizona State answered back with a chance of their own on that 2-on-1, and Husted was able to receive the pass, but the puck was a little wobbly and he was unable to hit the mark. Draw one by Di Benedito. Paolo taking his way down to the corner. Light on the left side to Chow. Back to Light. Di Benedito has to help out Light. They give it right back. Jet Larson's trying to pressure for a turnover. He can't. Chow with the puck in the corner. Light over to Di Benedito. Now to Paolo. Paolo over to Light, and it's a save by Moore. Still loose in front, and Studioso's able to intercept the pass. And with about 16 seconds remaining, he's able to clear it all the way down. Studioso creating some havoc in the offensive zone, impeding Utah's breakout, and Arizona State has killed off that 5-minute power play. Light still loose in front as he ends up shooting high. Plurd ends up losing an edge. That allows Utah to recollect the puck. Light's pass ends up missing. Moore is able to get the puck and break it out himself. Puck behind Lackey, stops at the blue line. To Searing. Searing on the right side with some speed, trying to get around Cahill, wheeling around, centers that in front. Di Benedito is able to take it away, and Utah can clear it. Searing's able to knock the puck down, trying to get it down deep, but he can't. He tries once more, but ends up getting taken by Utah, and they'll dump it in. Moore behind his net over to Platt. He might have some time to clear it out, and he will. Icing waved off. Big hit by Plurd. Looks like Dix ended up getting shaken up. 3:29 remains in the second period. Down the corner, Teeds pinning his man to the wall. 4 players in the corner. Naher is in there as well for Utah. Utah comes out with the puck. Landakusik's trying to get a shot through. He can't. Teedy ends up sending his Utah man to the ice, but the puck's still alive in the offensive zone. Meyer, short angle shot on, gets blocked. Lackey bats it out, and it ends up being deemed a hand pass. No change for Arizona State. And with exactly 3 minutes left on the clock, we'll finally have a stoppage. Unbelievable penalty kill for Arizona State. They ended up losing a man and a defenseman, Kruk. They ended up killing a 5-minute major penalty. They also kill off a 5-on-3 for 2 minutes as well. Utah with the point shot on, blocked by Moore, and that could be only something that this team can maybe galvanize through in order to win this hockey game. Lackey, he's trying to head man it to Sullivan. Sullivan now in the corner with the puck. He's trying to buy some time for his Arizona State teammates to go for a change. Teedy at the point. Wrist shot on, and Hansen had to react quickly, and he made the stop. Ensign trying to eat the puck on the half-wall boards. Kept in by Teedy. Wrist shot on, but he ends up missing the net. Landfear, he's able to dump it down. Tire group for Utah right now. Landakusik. Unable to clear it. Landfear, a little too hot of a pass for Deneen. Sullivan, unable to clear, and he has to dump it in, and Arizona State has to regroup and touch up. Deneen bats the puck down. Deneen, unable to toe drag around Meyer. Utah will try it again to clear it out. They do, but they turn it over. Deneen to Husted off the bench. Husted, unable to pull his toe drag move. He gets some help from Deneen. Deneen cycling down the corner. Landakusik, been out there for a while. He's able to catch some second wind, and Utah is able to take it out of their own zone. Landakusik still at the puck. Centers that in front, but his Utah teammates were going for a change, and no one was there. Drew Platt with an ill-timed pass ends up putting Arizona State offside briefly, but they're back on. Platt to Kowalchuk on the one-timer shot, ends up fanning on it, as it looked like Light was on the back check. Kowalchuk keeps the puck in, rims it down low in the corner. Paolo checking to see if he has any forward checkers. He has Havner. He tries to reverse it the other way. Under 60 seconds remains in the second period. Di Benedito plays it back to Paolo. Light couldn't get a handle of it off the boards. Kowalchuk point shot on, still loose in front. Havner trying to find it. Referee did a good job not to blow the whistle as the puck was still alive. Kowalchuk, as he was trying to ask for it from Husted from the point, but it's out of reach for him, and they have to regroup. Havner in his own zone to Landfear, tape to tape. Landfear with his head up, he's got about 15 seconds remaining. Landfear with the shot on, and Anderson was able to make the stop and not allow a rebound. Some instruction from the Arizona State coaching staff. Hoffenkamp unable to win the draw. Hosworth, he's able to try and keep it on his backhand, but it ends up getting blocked and out into the neutral zone. Searing trying to find it. He plays it on the goaltender Anderson, and he makes the easy stop. Well, an unbelievable period for Arizona State where they had to battle through a lot of adversity and breaks not going their way. They had to kill off a 5-minute major penalty. They had to also kill off a 5-on-3 for 2 minutes within that same penalty. And they had to battle back from another 1-goal deficit, and they were able to score 2 unanswered to now have a lead after 40 minutes of play. Folks, play's starting to just heat up here in Tempe, and we'll bring you live third period action in just under 15 minutes. At the end of 40 minutes, it's Arizona State 3, Utah 2. This is Arizona State Hockey YouTube. And welcome back, everyone, to Arizona State Hockey YouTube's presentation of ACHA Division I men's ice hockey, as Arizona State is nursing a 3-2 lead, entering in the final 20 minutes of the weekend. Again, a crazy game if you were unable to join us at the start of this one, as Utah had two one-goal leads, but Arizona State was able to battle back and able to get another goal to have their first lead of the game and have the score 3-2 in favor of ASU. Utah wins the opening period draw. Gaining the center ice line was Meyer. Landfear. Fans on the first attempt to pass. He tries to clear it. Husted couldn't get the tip he wanted. And Kowalchuk's able to play it to Platt. Platt on the left side overskated the puck. Kowalchuk will have to dump it on the goaltender Anderson, and he's forced to freeze it by Husted. Also as well in that second period, Arizona State had to kill a 5-minute major call and kill a 5-on-3 for a full 2 minutes in the middle of that second period, as it ended up being a hitting penalty against Connor Kruk. As well as Connor Kruk is unable to finish the rest of this hockey game, so the Sun Devils will be playing a man down. Teedy with the point shot and the redirection from Platt ends up just missing the mark. Husted with some hops is able to keep the puck in. Still with it, Husted to Havner, but Havner was unable to handle the pass. Osworth activating from the blue line. Puck ends up getting batted up in the air by Landa Kusic, but ends up being taken out of their zone. Husted filling the heat from Perry. Now to Hosworth. Hosworth taking it on the left side of the offensive zone. Hosworth trying to play that puck over, and Anderson was able to punch that away. Studioso unable to keep the puck in, and the Sun Devils will finish off a change. Out of the reach was Searing and Havner as he was near the end of his shift, and he's going to have to end up staying out there. And the face-off is going to be in Arizona State's end. Draw win by King for Utah. Dix will throw it back down. Chow centers that in front for King. He's able to get a backhand on it. Still loose light as he had a wide open 4x6. If he was just able to put it upstairs on the sprawling goaltender Moore, but he misses the net. And Light's just looking up to the heavens, thinking of what a great opportunity that shot opportunity was. Draw one again by King, but Studioso is able to force Light into a turnover, and he's able to get it to the center ice line. Searing beats Light to the puck, eats a check, but gets it in deep. Meyer ends up playing it out. Arizona State touches it up. The goaltender Anderson will collect it behind his net. Dix has some space on the left side. He's going to elect to skate it out, but it's out of reach for Chow. Searing ends up taking a hard lick from Chow, but Arizona State can break it out. Pass behind Plurd. McLaughlin has a tight turn in front of his Arizona State bench, but he loses out to Light. Light can't get past Lackey. Now a 2-on-2 for the Sun Devils. Hoffenkamp over the blue line, and the wrist shot ends up getting blocked by Di Benedito. Chip off the glass, Searing. Moves it to Shaw on the offensive side of the neutral zone, and Hoffenkamp ends up taking a hard check, courtesy of Romero. Lackey gets the turnover. Wrist shot on, and Anderson had to stand up to make that save, and the rebound's cleared away by the Utes. DiBenedito is able to beat Shaw to the race to the puck. Unable to get it down low. Romero keeps it in. Centers that one in front, and there's a dangerous play, but Kowalczuk's able to pick it out of the skates of Lanfear. Romero keeps it in. Romero tries to get a pass, but ended up going on his stomach was Lanfear to block the play. Shaw to 2-on-1. Sean Palumbo. Shaw with the puck. Shaw cutting in the wrist shot on. Saved by Anderson. Rebound still loose. Oh, and the puck almost squirted past Anderson. And now we're going to be having a whistle as a few players are jabbing each other after the whistle. Couldn't really tell what the flurry of penalties were being called. Looks like both referees are going to be taking a partner to the box. And now one of the referees is giving a stern talking to Dix in the Utah penalty box. And now both referees are going to be deliberating over what penalties will be called. And it looks to be King and Kowalczuk are getting the explanation, and they'll be going back to their bench. And after all of that commotion, after that whistle, it's going to be 4-on-4 play again. Has ended up favoring Arizona State, where I think they started getting some momentum going in that second period was from the 4-on-4 play with a little more open ice, and they're going to have another opportunity to do just that. Face off just outside the Utah zone. Won by Landakusik. Having some trouble on his skates was Paolo, but he's able to clear it. Light slows it down in the neutral zone. Light saucers it to Landakusik. Landakusik back to Light. Arizona State keeping the Utah players to the outside. Studioso is able to leap his way towards the puck. Lackey trying to leave it for Kowalczuk, but it was just out of reach for him. Plaird's able to chop it. He's going to try to get it down low again, and he's only able to get it halfway, and Paolo will collect it. Landakusik. Landakusik gets his shot partially blocked, and Moore is able to make an easy stop. Minute remains on the 4-on-4 play. Lackey at the center ice line. Cross ice to Studioso. Studioso on the right side. Still with the puck. Elects not to shoot it. Trying to get his pass through. It'll get blocked. And Landakusik is able to toe drag around Houston. Now it's 1-on-1. Landakusik and Hosworth. But it was a great job by Hosworth to look at his chest and not the puck. And he was able to negate the 1-on-1 opportunity for Utah. Husted cutting through the middle. Stops. Thought he had Havner. He gives it to Hosworth instead. Hosworth fakes a shot, and he gets the shot through, but Chow was able to get the shaft of his stick in the shooting lane, and he blocks it. 30 seconds remain before Dix and Deneen will be coming out of the box for their respective teams. Draw one by Arizona State. Platt ends up getting pressed to the boards by King, and Utah is able to collect the puck. Chow was unable to read the bounce off the boards, and Arizona State will have possession. Hosworth stops, cuts around Chow, winds up and fires, and that puck ends up getting deflected up and out of play by the stick of James Cahill. Arizona State will switch up their defensemen, but there ends up being a little miscommunication as it's still 4-on-4 for about 6 more seconds. Offensive zone draw for the Sun Devils, but it's won by King. Paolo fakes the D-to-D pass. He's able to shake off Houston, and he's able to skate out of his own zone. And we're back to 5-on-5 play. Chow, snapshot on, and Moore is able to make the stop with the crest of the Sun Devil and have a whistle. So not the 4-on-4 opportunities that Arizona State saw in the second period. It looks like Utah was a little better in terms of trying to shore things up on the defensive end when there's one less guy out there. Draw one by Utah. Paolo rims it down low, but Lanfear is able to have some time and space, and he's trying to find the stretch pass to Shaw, and he's able to get to him. Shaw sheds a check from Paolo, but he's unable to control the puck still. Chow trying to chip it out, and with his second effort, he's able to do so. Kowalchuk, cross-ice pass, ends up getting blocked by Hoffenkamp. Shaw will corral it and dump it in deep. Anderson plays it behind his net for Paolo. It's a turnover. Shaw to Hoffenkamp. Back to Larson, but he was unable to get a clean shot on it as it was impeded by the stick of Paolo. Now Landakusik. Landakusik cutting through the middle. Still with the puck, and he ends up being sent down as he's got sandwiched by Kowalchuk and Lanfear. Hoffenkamp trying to bob for the puck. Doesn't know where it is. It's in his skates. Jet Larson's trying to help him out. Enzine's able to kick it out, but Arizona State will collect the puck. Jet Larson plays it down deep. Shaw trying to kick it up to his stick. Centering pass in front, gets blocked. Landakusik trying to slow things down in his own zone, and he ends up electing for the high chip, but it goes off the ceiling and out of play. .12:55 remains in this third period. The score is still the same the way we started this third period, 3-2 in favor of Arizona State. Draw will be to the right side of the goaltender, Anderson. Ensign's going to be coming into the face-off circle for Utah. Palumbo wins the draw. Deneen on the half wall, unable to pick the puck up. Utah's able to clear it. Now the saucer pass will find Ensign. Ensign still gets a shot off as it ends up being deemed a possible penalty that was infringed, and Utah will pull the goalie for an extra attacker. Meyer couldn't get it out of his skates. Dix back in his own zone. Meyer. Backhand pass over to Perry. Perry snapshot on. Moore makes the stop. Arizona State hasn't touched it up yet, so the delayed penalty will still be going. And then we finally have a whistle called, and the penalty will end up being a slashing call. It's going to end up being a slashing call to Connor Deneen, so he'll find his way back to the box, and Arizona State, with a 1-goal lead, has to kill off a power play. Landakusik, who's got 2 goals tonight already for the Utes, was out there for a long time, so I imagine that's why he's not out here on this first power play unit. Snapshot on from Paolo, and Moore is able to shoulder shrug that puck, and it gets cleared down. DiBenedetto kicks up to his stick to Chow. Now to Light. Light on the left side on his backhand, trying to cut his way to the front of the net. He can't, and he'll wheel it around. Paolo walks the line. Back to Light. Light gives it right back. Paolo fakes the shot to DiBenedetto on the left side. His shot doesn't get all the way through, and Kowalchuk is able to clear it down 200 feet and go for a change. Studioso almost read the pass from the goaltender Anderson, and the Utes will go in the offensive zone. DiBenedetto trying to drop it, but Houston's able to make the turnover read, and still with the puck, just killing off more and more time as about a minute has passed by on this 5-on-4 opportunity for Utah. The goaltender Anderson drops it for Meyer, and Plurd ends up blowing a tire behind the net. Amanda Kusick is out there now for Utah. Amanda Kusick still with the puck. Wheeling around. Backdoor to Meyer, and a stop by Moore as he was able to get up and block that high left corner with his shoulder, and Arizona State can clear it. Husted with a turnover just out of the reach for Plurd, and 28 seconds remain now on the power play for Utah. Searing. Oh, and look out as he ended up whistling a wrister into the stands here at Oceanside Ice Arena, and luckily the fans were paying attention and were able to be braced with it. Luckily it wasn't aimed at us in the press box here, as I don't know if I would have had the reaction time to possibly get out of the way for that one. Draw one by Utah. Point shot misses wide by Meyer. Husted, he's able to get the puck and dump it all the way down, and that'll virtually do it for this power play for the Utes. Platt, he's unable to strip the puck from Dix, but at least keep them down in their own zone. But Meyer's able to help out his defensive partner, and now he's having some trouble himself, so he just has to chip it out. Meyer to Landa Kusick. Landa Kusick is able to burn McLaughlin, and his wrist shot ends up going wide. Romero is able to keep the puck in, and he ends up taking a hard check from Palumbo. Sullivan trying to find it, but he couldn't connect with Palumbo at the offensive blue line, and ends up being a penalty being called behind the play, and it's going to be against Romero, and it's an unsportsmanlike call, as the play ended up happening underneath the press box, so I didn't get a good view of it. But in either case, it's going to be now an Arizona State power play looking for that insurance marker with only a 1-goal lead. Plurd wins the draw for the Sun Devils. Lackey walking the line, fakes the shot, kicks it out to Havner. He'll get it right back, though. Havner still with it. Back to Lackey. Havner, now to Studioso. Wrist shot on, rebounds in front, and they score! I'm not sure who ended up getting the last touch on it. It was Plurd, I think, that got the initial redirection, but the puck was just sitting in the crease of the goaltender Anderson. And it looked like it ends up being Drew Platt going to be the guy going first through the line, and he's pointing to the referee that he ended up getting the goal, and it's going to be Drew Platt's second goal of the hockey game, and it's going to be a 2-goal lead now for Arizona State, 4-2. So where Arizona State was able to kill off their penalty, they were able to capitalize on their man advantage opportunity and get that insurance marker. Still a lot of time left, a lot of hockey to be played, as Utah has been able to show they can score goals like they did last night with a 4-goal outburst in the second period. Still loose in front. Studioso the rush on, he scores! He ends up going bar down on the goaltender Anderson on the glove side. And Arizona State have come out and they've been able to possibly get a stranglehold on this hockey game here late in this third period. And it's now 5-2 Sun Devils. Head coach Bo Bertignoli for Utah ends up recognizing the momentum swing, and he's trying to halt it a little bit by calling his timeout in the middle of this third period. Ended up being some great work on the forecheck for Arizona State, and all alone on the weak side ended up being Brandon Studioso, and he was able to have a quick release and be able to beat Anderson to the glove side. The message from Arizona State bench, the Arizona State bench, is to make sure to keep a level head and try and finish this game off for Utah and their bench. Giving up a flurry of goals late in this hockey game. They want to try and stop the bleeding and be able to go back to where they were having success last night, which is being simple in the offensive zone and being direct. Unable to find it was Platt. Light coming in the offensive zone. Light, wrist shot on. Ends up being saved by Moore. Husted, the high chip, ends up going off the ceiling. And the face-off will go back in Arizona State's end. Utah with the puck. Point shot from Paolo ends up getting a high touch, and Utah finally touches the puck up, and there will be an automatic whistle. Platt wins that draw forward. Anderson's forced to play it, and he's forced to cover it up.
We have a scoring correction on the last Sun Devil goal. On the stick should be headed to number 7, Jack Houseworth. The goal should now read Studio So from Clerk and Houseworth. And a 54 third period.
Drop in the offensive zone for Arizona State. Platt wins it. Husted at the point. As he was trying to sauce one over to Havner, it just hobbled over his stick. Searing in on the forward check. Trying to get some help from Platt in the corner. Platt trying to tight turn his way out, but he can't. He gets it back from Searing. King. He's battling with Platt, but it's a turnover now. Husted, as he's trying to release the backhand shot, but he's going to have to turn back around, and they're going to have to regroup. Platt ends up taking a check from Ensign, and will dump it in anyway, but the dump in is a little too high, and it ends up going out of play. Looks like both players are heading to the penalty box, and looks like the referees having no friends tonight as both benches are yelling at him, so at least you can say it's even from both sides. And the referees explained to the captains on what ended up going on. So we're going to have some more 4-on-4 play again. And now it looks like the referees are trying to communicate with the scorekeeper on wanting to be shown on that board to reflect the penalties. It's going to end up being for Utah Ensign and for Arizona State Platt. And we'll have 2 minutes of 4-on-4 play. Meyer unable to break out of his own zone, courtesy of Clayton Lackey. They're going to try it once more on the left side, and they'll have some success. Dylan Dix unable to deke past Hosworth. Studioso can't clear it initially. Hosworth feeling some pressure from Landon Kusick. He's pivoting around his own zone. He elects to skate it out. Almost a turnover, but Studioso is able to help the puck out. Lackey dumps it down low in the corner for Plurd. Plurd with the puck, sends it up front. But he was unable to get a handle on it with Lackey, and they're going to have to regroup the puck. Hosworth slowly backwards skating into his own zone. And he has a fake leave for Studioso, doesn't end up taking the puck, and Lackey's pass gets blocked by King. Cahill trying to wheel that back around. He can, as Plurd was there to try and intercept it. Paolo can't get around Lackey, and he lifts the stick of Lackey, and he can take it himself. Paolo, backhand pass. Cahill's able to hustle and keep the puck in. Wrist shot on, but it goes wide, and it'll rim all the way out of the zone. Studioso. He'll buy some time behind his net. Just under 6 minutes remain in this third period. It's a 5-2 Arizona State lead. McLaughlin drops it for the one-timer shot for Jet Larson. Rebound was still loose, but Anderson was able to paddle it with his stick and make the stop. These two teams will be meeting again in Utah at the end of January, on January 30th and 31st in Salt Lake. Draw one by Arizona State. McLaughlin to Jet Larson to Kowalchuk. He winds up a wrister, and it ends up being stomached by the goaltender Anderson, and we'll have another stoppage. Arizona State will swap their lines out. Draw one by Hoffenkamp. Hosworth walking the line, and he'll elect to chip it down low. Shaw. Tight turnaround, and he'll get hit into the corner by Dix, and Utah was trying to whack at the puck, ends up putting Shaw down, but play still goes. Third line for Arizona State trying to create some havoc. Utah is able to relieve the pressure, and they can break it out. Perry backhands that to Nahara. Puck was saved by Moore, but the rebound cleared by Jet Larson. Teedy enters in, the wrist shot on, ends up being blockered away by Anderson. Perry again with the puck. Gains the center ice line, dumps it in and goes for a change. Moore plays the puck out. Got to be careful for Arizona State to not have too many men, and they end up completing the change correctly. Husted by his lonesome. Ends up getting sent down. Play still goes. Platt on the left side. Couldn't get his dump in, and they end up entering in the zone offside. There's still a chance for Utah, but Father Time slowly starting to tick as we're under 5 minutes of play in the third period. Dix unable to clear, kept in by Havner. Platt. Houston winds up and fires one but misses a net. Kowalchuk looks for the redirection as looks like Houston's hustling to the bench and leaving his stick. I think he might have broke his stick. Dix. Trying to pass it in front to DiBenedito. DiBenedito with the puck, and he ends up hitting one off the iron. Platt is able to throw one in down low in the Arizona State offensive zone. Havner trying to get the puck off the wall. Center that in front, but the pass gets intercepted by Dix. Deneen. Could get around Dix. Myers able to read the play, and his cross-ice pass will find Light. Light by himself as Utah goes for a change. Light trying to take it himself, and the backhand shot saved by Moore, and he'll drop it right down so there's no whistle on the play, and it'll keep going. McLaughlin behind his net. Trying to get around the forechecker Chow. It'll find Sullivan in the middle. Sullivan on his backhand. He ends up shooting one, but it ends up being saved by Anderson. Three minutes and change left in this third period. It's a 5-2 Arizona State lead. Drawn by Arizona State. Sullivan ends up turning a twisted wrister wide. Still has it. Deneen and King meet underneath the net. King is able to take the puck out, but he's unable to connect with Chow, but icing's waved off. Kowalczuk's able to find Palumbo peeling off the right side. Palumbo chips it in the corner. Anderson leaves it down for his defenseman Cahill. Cahill pinned to the boards by Palumbo. About 2:20 left in this third period. TD has some pressure from Chow. He has to get rid of it quick. He does. Cleared. Right back to Lackey. Clayton Lackey fakes the shot. Budden hooks back around. Studioso off the bench, but he ends up fanning on the shot. DDD pass. Hosworth plays it back down low in the corner to Lackey. Lackey still with the puck as he's fighting off the check from Dix. Lackey cycles it with Studioso. Studioso's pass ends up getting deflected, but stays in the offensive zone. He gets it right back from Plurd. Minute and 35 remaining in this third period. Rugby scrum down in the corner of the Utah end. Lackey comes out with it. Lackey unable to center that in front. Naher is there to negate the pass. Dix trying to play it back around over to Paolo. Paolo with a high chip, icing waved off. Moore ends up activating from his net, and he'll play it to Studioso. About 60 seconds remain in this third period. It's a 5-2 Arizona State lead as Landa Kusick plays it with a high touch, and I welcome in my partner, Niall Cooper.
Brett, better late than never, am I right?
Yeah, of course. I hope you had some good plans and being at this great hockey game tonight.
Oh, this has been a great game. I was stuck at work, but I've been watching all night, and the play for Arizona State has really impressed me. All the lines have been rolling. I liked a lot of the goals tonight have come in the dirty areas in front of the net. Just a great bounce-back performance, and, of course, your call has just been legendary as always.
Hoffenkamp will flip it back in. Cahill with the puck. 45 seconds remain now. Brett Meyer trying to dump the puck in, but it'll get taken away by Hoffenkamp and cleared out. Shaw trying to staple up boards, and Utah has to go back in their own end. Under 30 seconds remain. Light ends up getting past TD. Could be a quick 2-on-1. Light ends up hitting the brakes. Backhand pass ends up getting blocked by Shaw. Light down the corner. Hoffenkamp trying to get the best of him. It's now pucks down in the corner. Referees just trying to let everybody know that play is almost over, and we'll end up having that regulation horn. It was an impressive win for the Sun Devils, a good response after they ended up taking the loss last night against the same Utes team, and ends up being, I think, the response as well that the coaching staff was looking for.
It certainly was, and Brett, I thought we were going to see a performance like this. You know, putting Bronson Moore back in really indicated everything right out of the gate. The coaching staff wanted to put out the big guns. They knew this was certainly a big game considering where the rankings stood coming into this weekend and the performance last night. And you know the coaching staff was certainly not pleased whatsoever with the performance yesterday, and you have to be at least a little happy with the bounce back if you're Arizona State.
As we see both teams shaking hands, when we'll bring you up here to the Oceanside Ice Arena press box. Brett Vaughn, now Cooper. And Niall, Arizona State had to battle some adversity, especially early in this hockey game.
They did, and Utah came out, and I thought they played a good game. They really established things early, and when you saw that first goal go in for Utah, you were a little worried. Oh no, here we go again. That was at that point their 5th unanswered goal. If you're going back to the previous game where they put 4 alone in the second period past the Sun Devils, but I thought it was the performance by every line. The fourth line to me really stood out. That first goal to get back in it, Adam Havner, I thought an amazing shift, and I think he was kind of the catalyst right there that kind of sparked Arizona State. They realized, hey, we're a good team. We should be playing in this game. We should be winning this game. And, he caused a turnover in front of the net. He had a shot in tight, got his own rebound, ends up getting a secondary assist on that goal. And from there, the Sun Devils looked like they kind of just got their footing and got back into the game.
Although Utah ended up losing tonight, there's still a lot of positives to take away from.
There certainly is. And when we talked to the coaching staff yesterday, and I'm sure you got some more of that from head coach Bergnoli today, that this season isn't one that they're measuring in wins and losses. They're not. That's not what they're looking for at the end of the season. They're looking for culture, and I think if anything, yesterday's performance, as well as tonight's, really cemented that their culture is in fact moving in a great direction, and they're looking just to build on that going forward. And this is something their group's going to be able to take. Hey, we split a series on the road against a top 15 team in the ACHA, one of the top teams in the Western region, and knowing that Utah is going to be joining the Western region next year, I think this only bodes well for them, and their program can really only go up from here.
And Niall, I know you're paying very special attention tonight in this hockey game, so who's going to be your Oxy Powell player of the game?
Well, that's a tough one, but ultimately I'm going to have to go with the low-hanging fruit, and that's Drew Platt. 2 goals on the night, but certainly that's not a knock to be said against him. Both goals came in very dirty areas in front of the net. He made some hard work in the places where you really needed to see it. You mentioned it yesterday that we would need to see Arizona really buckle down, put on their hard hats, get their lunch pails, and that's exactly what Drew Platt did, going into the hard areas, getting a couple goals, and being that offensive spark the Sun Devils needed to get that comeback victory tonight.
And impressive for Drew Platt coming into the weekend, only scoring 1 goal on the season, but it looks like he's relishing an opportunity playing up a line on that second line with Houston.
I think he certainly has, and that's just a combination. It's always, there's a little bit of luck to it, but you have to prepare yourself to be in a position to take advantage of good opportunities. And, the team's not happy that Damon Porter's out injured. But Platt, given that opportunity with some hard play, doing the things that aren't showing up on the score sheet as of late, gets that promotion up to the second line and has played amazingly on this weekend, and I think only cemented himself going forward as a great top 3 center option for head coach Tate Green. And, you couple that with the emergence of Timothy Hoffenkamp this season. He's really stepped up and played that kind of role we thought we might see him play last year. And so right now the Sun Devils, it appears as if something we didn't see at the beginning of the season, i.e. depth, is something that is really starting to jump out right now. And if the team gets healthy at the right time and can come together, this could be a really special group.
Although not the way Arizona State wanted to start the weekend, I think it's the way they wanted to end it. They have 2 more games coming up before the winter break. They're both going to be going down in Tucson against the Arizona team. And for head coach Tate Green, what do you think they're going to be able to take away from this weekend series of games?
Well, I think they're going to take away that it really shows in the ACHA that there's no easy games. And Arizona State, they got a 2-0 lead last night in the first period, and from there you can see they kind of skated out like, okay, we're the big team here. We're going to get an easy victory, and that wasn't the case at all. And tonight, they for a brief moment you thought that might be happening again tonight, and then they really overcame that. And I thought played a great 50-minute game from there on out. And I think that's what they're going to take forward. The coaching staff, they're preaching you want to play a full 60-minute game. It's not 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. It's a full 60-minute game, and that's what it's going to take, especially if they want to make a dent in nationals. And I expect that's going to be the message going forward. And, going down into University of Arizona, that's going to be a hard series. Arizona is obviously a spectacular team, a lot of high-end talent, great goaltending, good coaching. However, Arizona State has hung with Arizona every time they've played them this season. And if not for a couple bad bounces here, a couple unlucky calls there, all of a sudden they might actually be winning that series against Arizona or have some quality wins banked in the regulation frame. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see Arizona State go down and get some big victories right before the Christmas break.
Folks, I want to say happy holidays to everybody here from the Arizona State hockey family, to everyone at home, as this is our last broadcast until the new year. So I just wanted to make sure we get that out all the holiday cheer and greetings.
Oh, I'm feeling very cheery. Looking forward to all the turkey I can fit in here, you know.
And before we leave tonight, I want to say a special thank you to a few people that helped make this broadcast possible. Our statistician tonight was Ian Rick Sams. Our producer was Wilfred Chang. Our cameraman was Alex Demon, Damon Porter, and Kenneth Miller. And our engineer at Network Central tonight was Doc Cooper. Folks, I just want to let you know that the final score from tonight's hockey game was Arizona State with a 5-2 win over Utah. We say thank you so much for tuning in tonight, and so long from Oceanside Ice Arena in Tempe, Arizona. This has been an Arizona State Hockey YouTube presentation.